Food for thought. Why are most Jehovah's Witnesses poor? Well, let me tell you. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule. There are some Jehovah's Witnesses who are quite wealthy, but those are far and few in between. And the reason is simple. The governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses absolutely do not want their members to get higher education or to have a career and a well-paid job. Why? Well, it's because if you have a higher education, it makes you think. And if you think, you start researching and doubting to what the governing body says. Now, that's actually a typical cult behaviour where the leader, or in this case, a bunch of leaders, they want to keep their flock and they want to grow their income from the flock. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, one of the main themes of Jehovah's Witnesses is that they are to be no part of the world. What does that mean? To Jehovah's Witnesses, their belief is that the whole planet, the whole world, the whole humanity is under the influence and power of Satan and the devil. And that God doesn't actually even have anything to do with the earth and the moon. It's all been left to the devil. He's the one who is putting on political powers, educational system, financial system. So everything is under the hand of the devil. So what happens if a Jehovah's Witness wants to have higher education or a career, to do well for themselves, to do something they're passionate about? Well, they can't. And I should know that because when I was recruited to become a Jehovah's Witness at age 14, I did finish basic education, but I was strongly discouraged from having higher education, and that is the case still for all Jehovah's Witnesses. You only need to look at the monthly broadcasting, and the governing body members themselves will tell their flock to be no part of the world. And if someone does go to university or higher education or focuses on a career, that they are not being spiritual and that they are not good association. So you kind of get soft shunned. So of course, if you have no education, no skills, you're not working towards a goal such as bettering yourself, bettering your life, you're not going to get far. So most Jehovah's Witnesses, especially in the UK, most males will become window cleaners. It's literally, I probably would say that over 50% of all the men in Jehovah's Witness organisation that I've ever met and known about, they were all window cleaners. So yes, if you're in England, your window cleaner is probably a Jehovah's Witness. Not that there's anything wrong with manual work, however, they very much rely on that, and the usual answer to what they're doing and with their life is, well, cleaning windows, and then they can make an excuse as to, because they put in Jehovah first, so they can go knocking on doors and then they get their privileges in the congregation. And I mean, some of them, mostly the men they're recruited later on, will have some sort of education or a business, but most will just have a window cleaning business. For women, most women would be cleaners, would be working menial jobs, or just work in a shop part-time, anything that does not require any kind of use of your brain or excelling in life or having some sort of career, or actually just anything really, because their view of people who are not Jehovah's Witnesses is they're all worldly people, they're a bad association. So if you have someone you work with, whether that's in an office or in a factory or in a shop, they absolutely hate being there because they view you as a constant temptation, as somebody who will be used by Satan to stumble them. So it's actually really sad. I say that because I used to be there. That's what I used to do. When I used to work in offices, I wasn't really allowed to progress. There's no such thing as becoming a manager or a director. It's very rare. I just did all the mundane assistant tasks because I had no qualifications for anything else. And I was terrified of my co-workers. I was terrified that they're gonna force me to celebrate Christmas or sign a birthday card and persecute me. Jehovah's Witnesses have a very strong persecution complex. They're very, very victimized. And that is really basically the reason why most Jehovah's Witnesses are poor, because they are told to go and knock on doors, go and preach, because to them, this is not the real life. They believe that very soon that God Jehovah is going to destroy everyone who's not Jehovah's Witness, and then they will build a new world or paradise on top of our bones. That's actually quite sick, isn't it? But that is the reason they do not view this current reality as the reality they need to do anything about. All they're waiting for is Armageddon, and then they think all their problems will be fixed, all the illnesses will go away, and they will be young forever on this planet Earth, living in a paradise. Which is why most witnesses don't even have anything for a pension pot or any plans for retirement, because they don't think they'll ever get old or that they'll need a pension. So it's very sad, actually. Once I left Jehovah's Witnesses, I went back into higher education so that I can better myself and actually do something and learn something that I enjoy and passionate about. And if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, do it in secret, because I'm sorry, but the new world isn't coming. You're going to get old and be left with nothing. You've spent all your life knocking on doors and preaching and going to meetings, and it's a waste. If you're left Jehovah's Witnesses, I hope you're making the most of your life, and well done for getting out.